thrill me.
This show is part of the Thrill Me Podcast Network. Experience more on Facebook and YouTube.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Revealed Rob Show. I am, of course, the one and only Revealed Rob, coming at you with all of the latest news, with all the things releasing this week, or, you know, some of the stuff that caught my eye that's released this week. And, of course, got a review or two for you to finish off the episode, man. Hope everybody out there has been doing good since the last time we conversated here. When I say we conversated, I mean I talked, you listened. You know how this goes. But no, I appreciate you joining here and listening to this nonsense that I spew out of my mouth every week on this podcast that I love doing, man. 2 years in, 2 years old, moving forward, baby. If you heard something a little different there at the beginning of the episode, something a little thrilling there at the beginning of the episode, that is a little teaser for what's going on. Pay attention to Zach's Speakeasy later this week. Check into that episode. You might hear a familiar voice or three on there, and they'll give you a little more information on the thrilling things that are going on around the podcast world. Other than that, man, pretty fun weekend. Hung out with my brother, watched the Elimination Chamber premium event, no longer referred to as pay-per-views over there in the wrestling world of the WWE. Watched that, had a good time, to be honest with you. A lot of the outcomes were to be expected as we're on the road to WrestleMania, very much getting close to WrestleMania. But, like I said, some of the outcomes were to be expected, but hey, that happens when you go into movies. Like you didn't expect what was going to happen at the end of the game. Come on, we all knew what was going to happen. So, we're into it, man. Good things going on. I had a fun time with that show. Lita, Becky Lynch, match of the evening. Go check that match out. Fantastic time. Got me to tear up a little bit with the ending there, the special tribute they paid to Lita after the match. So, go ahead and go check that out. As I clear my throat a little bit, let me take a little bit of soda ingestion. Oh, yeah. So, that was a good event, good time there. What else I do? Like I said, hung out with my brother, watched a lot of movies with him, checked out some of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, including the new one. Gonna dive into that later. And let's see, we watched Airheads, fantastic classic movie from the 90s with Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler, and Steve Buscemi, as well as a, fun cast, man. Chris Farley's in that thing. Freaking Winston and Egon are in that movie, man. It's a fun time, dude. Fun, stupid comedy revolving around rock and roll, man. Gotta love it. What else did I watch? We watched some celebrity comedy, Central Roast of Celebrities. Enjoyed those. Those are always a good time, hearing famous people get made fun of. I mean, who doesn't like hearing that? You know what I'm saying? When it's in a respectable manner, like the celebrity roast and all that. And, of course, I went to the theaters to see, as you can tell by the title of this episode, the film Uncharted. So we're going to jump into a review of that later on as well. But as you know, if you are a seasoned listener to the show, or if you are brand new to the show, kick it off with the latest in news since the last time we talked, man. I gather up all the relevant news to me, and I think that you'll enjoy since our last episode. So First thing we got to talk about here is the amazingly incredible Netflix original television series Stranger Things. Gave us a lot of stuff since the last time we talked, including like 4 or 5, maybe 10 posters. I might be exaggerating a little bit, but a lot of posters, man. They gave us a lot of posters. My bank and wallet are like, oh no. But hey, hey, it'll be okay. But yeah, Stranger Things, man, they gave us the premiere date for the 4th season of the, of course, hit sci-fi horror series, and also let us know that it has been renewed for a 5th season, and unfortunately that will be the final season of Stranger Things. The Duffer Brothers gave us a letter as well, saying, quote, 7 years ago we planned out the complete story arc for Stranger Things. At the time, we predicted the story would last 4 to 5 seasons. It proved too large to tell in 4. But as you'll soon see for yourselves, we are now hurtling towards our finale. Season 4 will be the penultimate season, and Season 5 will be the last. There are still many more exciting stories to tell within the world of Stranger Things, new mysteries, new adventures, new unexpected heroes. But first, we hope that you stay with us as we finish the tale of a powerful girl named Eleven and her brave friends of a broken police chief and a ferocious mom of a small town called Hawkins and an alternate dimension known only as the Upside Down. As always, we are grateful for your patience and your support. So, we got the premiere date. This is May 27th, 1 month before my birthday. Season 4 will begin, and then it will stop. What I mean by that is they're breaking it in half, man. They're giving us, what is that? Whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say there, but they're breaking the season into half. We're getting a lot of content, man. That's why it is split into 2 volumes, with the first beginning on Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 1 will premiere on May 27th again, and then Stranger Things Volume 2 will premiere July 1st, which will be about 5 weeks later. Exciting, fun times. I can't wait to see how it go. I mean, like I said, it's twice the length of the previous season, so we can expect each episode to be very long. But I am super stoked and excited about this, man. This is going to be a good time. We got our main freaking characters back. We got Robert Englund joining this bad boy. Like, come on, dude. This is going to be incredible. You already know how much I love this show. So, I'm down to freaking watch this again. Can't wait. Super excited. All right. Let's see, next up in the news, since last time we talked, Paramount Pictures held their freaking investors thing. And they announced a lot of things, especially for their theatrical film slate, debuting at the Investors Day. That's what the hell it's called. They talked about A Quiet Place 3, which will be debuting in 2025. I have not seen A Quiet Place 2. I thought the first Quiet Place movie was fine. I didn't overly love it like a ton of people did, but I thought it was fine. Again, I haven't seen part 2, so part 3, I do know both films did very well, money-wise, so it's only, obvious that they're going to be doing more of that. If I remember correctly, there's a spin-off to the world of The Quiet Place being worked on as well. So, that series is not going away anytime soon. Speaking of not going away anytime soon, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has been announced. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 isn't even out yet, man. But no, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has been announced. And they've also set a television series that will be based around Knuckles, a character that we will be seeing debut in the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie, which is hitting theaters on April 8th of this year. And the character is voiced by Idris Elba, and Idris Elba will reprise the role for the television show. So that is cool news. And speaking of cool news, no, fuck that. Speaking of awesome news, no, fuck that. Speaking of out of this galaxy news, and speaking of Idris Elba, actually, pretty good segue, if I will. Paramount has finally announced that Star Trek will be returning for another film, baby. The Star Trek Reboot cast will be returning. That's, of course, Chris Pine, Zoe Saldana, Zachary Quinto, and the rest of the gang will be back for another all-new space adventure that is set to start shooting later this year. Producer J.J. Abrams said, quote, "We're thrilled about this film. We have a bunch of other stories that we're talking about that we think will be really exciting, so we can't wait for you to see what we're cooking up." Pretty interesting. They said a bunch of other stories. Maybe they're trying to space this out for another trilogy of films. Who knows? He also went on to say, but until then, live long and prosper, of course. Cool. Into it, J.J. Abrams. That dude and I share a birthday, so that is cool. not the same year, obviously, but the same month and day. So I'm cool to share. I'm cool that guy's my birthday celebratory time frame at the same dealio 1-3, So that's cool, man. I'm super stoked and excited about a new Star Trek film. Been waiting for something to happen there since Beyond came out. The last movie, Star Trek Beyond, came out in 2016? Yeah, 2016. So I've been waiting a while. That movie had one of my favorite actresses, Sofia Boutella, and that bad boy who plays an awesome version of the Mummy. If you haven't seen that movie, dude, don't listen to the freaking fake reviews. Listen to my review. I love that freaking movie to death, man. She is so awesome in that movie. But yeah, she's also awesome in Star Trek Beyond and pretty much everything else I've seen her in, including a Michael Jackson music video. But yeah, we've been waiting for Star Trek Beyond follow-up, and now finally we're getting some good news, because the last thing we heard was going on is just back and forth. Will they make another one? Won't they make another one? Chris Pine is not signing on because he's not getting paid enough. Chris Hemsworth apparently is supposed to be back at some point. Who knows if that's still going on. But, contractual issues, and then there's the whole, hey, Quentin Tarantino wants to do a Star Trek movie. He's writing a script. He wants to do an R-rated Star Trek movie, which I would like to see. But, nonetheless, we are now finally officially back on the Star Trek voyage. It's exciting, man. It is very exciting. I like me some Star Trek. I like both Star Wars and Star Trek, man. I don't have any beef between watching either one of them. I have a good time watching both. Let's see. Seth Rogen and his creative partner Evan Goldberg, they've done numerous things together, are hard at work on a new CGI animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, but Nickelodeon will follow this with more TMNT movies focused on the franchise's villains. During the Investor Day, the company announced that the upcoming Rogen-produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that is coming in 2023 will be followed by the launch of a new series of films focused on the villains. Sounds very Sony Spider-Verse. They're trying to make the villain films over there, as they done with the Venom movie. Morbius apparently still coming this year at some point in time. At Kraven the Hunter coming now. Sounds like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles over here at Paramount is working towards some kind of the same feels here with films focused on villains. These movies will premiere exclusively on the Paramount Plus starting in 2023. Nickelodeon has also confirmed that the villain spin-off movies are related to Rogen's reboot, but are not part of the large plan for TMNT. Now, if you'll remember, the animated universe isn't the only Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles project in the works. Previously announced, Saturday Night Live writer Colin Jost will be penning a live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, though Viacom did not mention this during their presentation. But there is a live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in the works with Colin Jost writing the script, and we have Michael Bay back to produce. Not sure if this will be a third film in the two Michael Bay Ninja Turtle films we saw before, or if it will be separated, or a brand new start. Who knows? But freaking, I love the freaking Heroes in a Half Shell. Love it. So I'm into it, man. Can't wait. That's just good fun times, man. I love the Ninja Turtles. I remember how excited I got when they were added to the Injustice 2 game. I just have so much fun using those characters. So, God, now I want to play Injustice 2. All right, let's see. Now it's time for mandatory DC Comics news. Starting off with maybe are we going to get Mr. Freeze in one of the Batman sequel films from Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves was recently talking about, of course, the Batman as we're getting less than a month away. We're like a week away. We're not too far off from the Batman, ladies and gentlemen. And we're about 10 days away from the Batman. Finally, almost here. Super stoked and excited about this. And like I said, there is rumors and wonderings and all that of what the next villain will be in the Matt Reeves Batman universe. Saying that maybe it's Mr. Freeze. Quote, "In my view, I just feel drawn to finding the grounded version of everything. So to me, it would be a challenge and an interesting way to try and figure out how that could happen. Even the idea of something like Mr. Freeze. That's such a great story, right? I think there's actually a grounded version of that story which could be really powerful and could be really great." So, he's not really saying that Mr. Freeze will be one of the next coming villains, but he's not leading away from it. Like that, it sounds like he's interested in figuring out how to do a grounded version of Mr. Freeze like he's doing with all the characters he's doing now in the Batman universe, and is You're working on a Mr. Freeze thing, aren't you, dude? So I can't wait to see what that happens, man. Can't wait. Last time I saw Mr. Freeze was freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger over there, and it's... Oof. it's a time trying to get through that movie. Let's see. Other news, the Peacemaker season finale happened. Fantastic, amazing show. Enjoyed season 1 to death. Going to be creating a playlist off of the amazingly awesome songs throughout that whole show, including the great intro that you should never skip. If you skip that intro, what the hell, dude? But that season finally wrapped up in amazing fashion. I will not be spoiling anything there. But I will let you know is that season 2 has officially been picked up. The show will be returning for a second season with James Gunn directing and writing all the episodes like he did for season 1. Of course, no details for how long the series order is just yet or when it will premiere. But this is happening as well. James Gunn, remember, he is already doing another show for DC, right? So things are moving good over there for James Gunn in the DC world since he's got there. His Suicide Squad movie was met with a lot of praise. And then season 1 of Peacemaker met very well praised. No idea what the other Suicide Squad character show is being made off of. If I had to take a guess, I'm going to lean towards Ratcatcher, probably. It seemed like a lot of people liked her character, and the story was pretty good there, so there's definitely something you can build off of with Ratcatcher. They decided to go that route. That's not the only thing I got here with Peacemaker. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything from the season or the finale, but what I will let you know is that they did mention DC characters as expected, and one of the characters that was mentioned was Green Arrow. When Green Arrow was brought up, the Peacemaker character said, quote, "No, he goes to brony conventions dressed as the back half of Twilight Sparkle with a 4-inch wide butthole drilled in the costume." Now, the reason I bring this up is because this was related to actor Stephen Amell, who, of course, played Green Arrow on the Arrow show, which lasted many seasons until it was canceled. Amell, who is now starring as a wrestler on the Star series Heels, said after this was brought to his attention, he said, quote, "Haven't seen it, too busy showing Cena what professional wrestling should actually look like on TV," end quote. So, sounds a little bit salty there. Maybe he's just trying to make a very bad joke. But, you don't want those problems, Mr. Stephen Amell. I saw you wrestle when you teamed up with Stardust back in the day, and, yeah, you don't want those Cena problems, just saying. Let's see, moving forward with news involving DC, of course, because we're in mandatory DC corner right here. This also involves CW, if that's still going to be a network by the time this all happens. Jensen Ackles, people love him, you know him. He was in Supernatural. Everybody loved that show, right? He had recently teased that he is involved with a super secret project over at DC, and looking at the South by Southwest convention in Austin, Texas, where he'll be at, for his profile that was released online for Ackles' actor page, he's listed as, quote, "developing an untitled DC project with Greg Berlanti." Now, if you're in the know, Greg Berlanti is behind pretty much all of the DC shows over there on the CWs. Is referred to as the Arrowverse, but it's also known as the Berlantiverse as well. So could they be working on something for the CW involving Jensen Ackles playing Jason Todd? Because he did voice Jason Todd when he played the Red Hood in the animated film Batman Under the Red Hood. Or could he be the CW's Batman, as he did voice the Batman in both parts of Batman The Long Halloween? We don't know, man. It has not been confirmed. We'll have to wait till South by Southwest ends up concluding, or whatever, or taking place. But there you go, dude. People like Jensen Ackles. He's been involved in the DC stuff for a good bit there, mostly in the animated world. He was also on Smallville back in the day. So we'll see where that goes, right? We'll see how things end up shaking out there, but cool, man. I didn't stay too far on with the CW shows. I did watch Arrow a lot. Missed a couple seasons there. I watched The Flash, missed a couple seasons there as well. I planned on diving into those shows, but I've never gotten around to it. And as you noticed the last couple weeks, I haven't gotten back to Riverdale. And I actually enjoyed the hell out of that show, and I haven't gotten back to it. So, things will figure out. Maybe I'll end up, I gotta get into it by watching so many movies, man. It's just, don't cry for me, Argentina, I know. But we'll get there when we get there. Let's see, that was all the DC news, so jumping back into other movie news. According to Deadline, Camila Cabello's Cinderella movie is leading the hashtag Oscar fan favorite category that the Academy Awards created for a apparent bid to boost ratings and include mainstream popcorn flicks to be talked about on the show, I guess is what the idea here is. And I love me some Camila Cabello. Don't get me wrong. Love her voice. I, love a lot of her songs. I've got a lot of her songs on my YouTube music. No problems with Camila Cabello. She's great. I have seen that movie. I think my buddy, Mr. Wonderful, which, check out his show, Mr. Wonderful Show. Maybe he's got some thrilling content, too. Yeah. Ain't no maybe. He does got some thrilling content. He reviewed that movie, so go check out his show for a review of that. Cool. Kind of funny, though, because a lot of people like screaming about Spider-Man No Way Home not being nominated for an Oscar, including, my celebrity doppelganger, Kevin Smith, which is fine. I can understand that it should be nominated. I'm not going to say it should probably win the award or anything like that. With that said, out of the movies nominated for Best Picture or whatever, I've only seen one of them. And I saw that over the weekend, actually, Nightmare Alley. We'll talk about that later. Cool, I guess. Camilla's got her fans, so I'm sure a lot of her fans are joining in on this hashtag movement to get her win here. And that's fine. That's perfectly fine. It's cool. Support your people that you're fans of. What I can say is that this is a made-up category, so they would not be presented with any kind of hardware or anything like that if you do win. So, I guess it's bragging rights. Also, will say that if reading this information, that Zack Snyder's Justice League was getting a lot of play and a huge push for the award, but it is being deemed ineligible because it was a redo. Fuck you, is what I say. Alright, moving forward. 30 years after first combining for an Oscar-winning collaboration, Tom Hanks, Robert Zemeckis, and Eric Roth will be reuniting for a new movie. The trio are set to adapt the innovative graphic novel Here. That is the name of the movie. Or novel and movie, I guess. I don't know. With Tom Hanks set to star, Zemeckis to direct, and Roth to pen the script. The novel, if you will, was published in 2014. It is centered in one room and chronicles the events that have occurred in that space over the course of hundreds of thousands of years. The new project will mark the first time all three will reunite since their talents came together in the 1994 classic film Forrest Gump, which earned 6 Oscars, including Best Actor, Best Director, Best Adapted Screenplay, and Best Picture. Forrest Gump, man, what a movie. Yeah, cool, that's cool. I'm interested, man. You get those 3 powerhouses, Forrest Gump, again, what a movie. Can't wait to see where this goes, man. It sounds interesting. We're going to be in one room for, why not? Work for Saul. Well, probably not in one room the whole time, but hey, maybe we are. Again, work for Saul. Let's see. We got a kind of release date here for the George Carlin documentary, Meet the Dean of Counterculture Comedians. George Carlin's American Dream, a 2-part documentary directed by Judd Apatow, will be on HBO Max this May. Super stoked inside about that, man. I grew up with George Carlin. That's probably why I got thick skin and why I'm not, hurt by things. I don't know, dude. But, George Carlin, man, I miss him all the time. Loved his comedy. If he was around in this day and age, he'd probably be canceled because, everybody gets canceled these days. But he wouldn't care. He'll still keep doing his thing. Kind of like people trying to cancel Dave Chappelle, and he keeps doing his thing, man. So yeah, that's fun. That's going to be exciting to check out, man. I love me some George Carlin. Let's see. Universal Pictures and Illumination. Is that how it goes? Wait. Illumination! Have announced Despicable Me 4 is happening and will be hitting theaters July 3rd, 2024, a couple days after my birthday. So that might be a birthday movie for me. This is the 4th movie, obviously, and cool, man. Fine with it. I don't have much of a problem with the Despicable Me franchise. I haven't watched any of the movies in a while. I did not see the Minions spin-off movie, and it looks like there's another Minions movie on the way. The Minions, The Rise of Gru, will be hitting theaters July 1st of this year after being delayed 2 years because of the shit show that is COVID. That movie follows Gru's childhood exploits where he attempts to join a supervillain team called the Vicious Six. But yeah, Despicable Me 4, I'm here for it. You've heard me mention multiple times how much I love going to Universal Orlando. They have a Minions ride. I did that last trip. It was fine. It was fun. I think it seems like they're building another Minions attraction right across from that Minions attraction. Minions are big business, man. I get it. That's what it does. Despicable Me 4 will have your original cast returning. You know, your Steve Carell's, your Miranda Cosgroves. They'll be back to voice their characters yet again for Despicable Me 4, man. So cool. Bring it on. Let's see. Rumorville over here with the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Apparently we're getting a Wolverine as the rumor. With Daniel Radcliffe playing him. So Daniel Radcliffe is being rumored to be playing X-Force Wolverine in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Again, this is a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. But this movie is expected to bring in a lot of characters. If you saw the trailer during the Super Bowl, or big game, whatever you gotta call it, weekend, there was the hint of Professor Xavier, and there was the voice of Patrick Stewart. Now, funny enough, Patrick Stewart was asked about this, and he said, for years people have been imitating my voice since I've become famous. Over the 60 years, a lot of people have done it. I'm not in the movie. There's also been people who've looked at the Doctor Strange poster very closely with a magnifying glass and think they see Deadpool in one of the shards of glass there, which I saw that shard, and it does look like the Merc with a mouth. However, Ryan Reynolds has come out and said he's not in the movie as well. However, this is not the first time people have lied to our fucking faces about not being in movies. So that includes one of my boys. So I'm not harping on him. I get it. You want to keep the surprise going. That's awesome. We'll see. We shall see. I am super excited for Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. I do love me some Daniel Radcliffe. I've seen this rumor ever since Hugh Jackman retired as Wolverine that Daniel Radcliffe played the role. I don't have any doubt in my mind that he could do it. So yeah, especially after seeing Guns Akimbo when he had those guns attached to his hand, man, give him some snicks, man. He can do it. Snick. Why not? There's been a lot of rumors for who's playing Wolverine, from Daniel Radcliffe to Shia LaBeouf, which that one's probably not happening, to Taron Egerton. So we'll see what happens, dude. We'll see where they go with this. If it happens, cool. If it doesn't happen, cool. You know, I'm here to see what happens. I do love me some Wolverine. I've always loved me some Wolverine. I remember growing up playing an X-Men video game, and I was playing as Wolverine, because I'm like, fuck yeah, dude, snicks. Daniel Radcliffe also, by the way, over the weekend, a couple photos released of him as Wolverine. Or not Wolverine, fuck. As Weird Al. Both starts with W. You understand how I got confused. So that was fun. Again, this is something I never expected, but hey, you know what I'm going to say. Bring it on. I'm here for it, dude. So we'll see what happens with Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness. If Wolverine's even in it, if Daniel Radcliffe's playing him or not, who knows, man, but freaking bring the noise. Alright, let's see. Is it time for horror? It is time for horror. Mandatory horror news as we go into the Spookland. Zombie 3 is being mentioned. Now, this doesn't mean that Zombie 3 is anywhere close to happening, or if it's happening at all. But the question came up of if a Zombieland 3 would happen with the director of the franchise. Saying, quote, Emma, he's speaking of course, Emma Stone. Emma joked, while we were making Zombieland 2, we should do one of these every 10 years. So hopefully, by 2029, there'll be another Zombieland. But I don't know. I mean, I also kind of feel like the double tap. I don't know. I wonder how many times you can return to the well, so we'll see. End quote. Now, I enjoy the first Zombieland movie. Zombieland 2, I believe I saw once. And I have not been in a hurry to go back and see it, which is kind of rare because I love Emma Stone, right? I don't know if I need another Zombieland movie. You know, because Zombieland 2 seemed like they kind of went a little overboard. You know, I had a great time in the Scare Zone. I had Halloween Horror Nights, what was that, 29? Had a good time in that Scare Zone, sure. But, was that even Zombieland 2 or was that just Zombieland? It's like both, right? I don't know. I mean, with the franchise, like I said, I enjoy the first movie. I can gladly watch that, without a problem. Zombieland 2, I haven't been back to see. I can probably look around and see if that's on any of the streaming services I have to check out for checkout's sake. But a third one, don't know if we need it, but at the same time, wouldn't be mad if we get it, you know? So, again, it doesn't sound like it's anywhere close to happening. It all depends on, I guess, desire and, money. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. It sounds like the door is open slightly for there being a Zombieland 3, but we shall wait. Let's see. Video game horror news, Dead by Daylight, and a lot of people enjoy that show. You've got the Ring characters, some of the Ring characters. I'm not going to try to say their names because I suck at names, as you know. But, you got the main baddie from the Ring. Will be joining that game next month. And the creator of the game said he would love to bring Stephen King characters into the game. So, look for that to happen at some point in time. I'm sure Stephen King's okay with it. Stephen King's properties are all over the place. So, Dead by Daylight with Pennywise on it or something like that could be happening at some point in time. Not saying it is happening because we don't have that confirmation to say that. But be on the lookout for that. If you are a Dead by Daylight player, you could be getting something interesting very soon. Or not soon. I don't know. Let's see. Netflix is producing a live-action film based on Bioshock. They will be partnering with 2K and Take-Two on a live-action adaptation of the popular immersive sim set in an underwater city that was meant to house the greatest minds on Earth before descending into chaos. Bioshock was released back in 2007 as a spiritual successor to System Shock. Again, it is set in a fictional underwater city called Rapture. Players were mysteriously drawn to its depths only to uncover a shocking history of how a city meant to serve as a safe haven for the rich and powerful became hell underwater, stalked by terrifying suited giants called Big Daddies. Bioshock has spawned 2 sequels, Bioshock 2 and Bioshock Infinite, with a new Bioshock game currently in development. I think I played the demo for the first Bioshock game. I haven't dove into those, or whatever the word is. I haven't gone too far into those, but I mean, this is cool. Sounds interesting. Bring it on. It's a Netflix show. Netflix can make some good stuff. So, cool. Alright, is this the last bit of news again here? Yeah, last bit of news is horror-related news. The upcoming AMC anthology series Tales of the Walking Dead, because they keep milking that damn cow, is continuing to build its cast. As is now added Olivia Munn to the cast. You know her from tons of stuff, as well as Attack of the Show. That's where she started, damn it. I love me some Attack of the Show, man. Love me some G4. Love G4, man. Check it out. Watch it. Good stuff. But yeah, Olivia Munn is joining the cast. She was also in X-Men Apocalypse, yada yada. Other previous cast members announced were Terry Crews and Parker Posey. Fuck yeah, dude, Parker Posey, she's awesome. She is in one of my movies. Some people call it a guilty pleasure movie. I don't believe in such things as guilty pleasures, man. If I enjoy it, I enjoy it. I don't feel guilty about enjoying it at all. She was in Josie and the Pussycats, dude. That movie is fucking fun. All right. So Tales of the Walking Dead is an episodic anthology that will consist of 6 episodes and is expected to debut on AMC and AMC Plus this summer. I assume has to do with walkers. Just taking a far-fetched sketch there. Let's see. The original series, The Walking Dead, is currently in its 11th and final season. Cool, man. I fell off with The Walking Dead a long time ago. A couple seasons ago. I have not rejoined that. I know they're on Netflix. I don't know if every single episode's on Netflix, but I know it's there. I don't know. Like I said, I fell off with it. I enjoyed it for a while. The Governor season was really annoying. I don't hate Negan like a lot of people hated Negan. That's when a lot of people kind of turned away from the show as well. I don't hate Negan. I got tired of watching it, I think. I just got tired of watching it. If you're into The Walking Dead, you're going to enjoy this. I believe they're still working on movies, like the Rick Grimes movie. I believe that's still something in the works. So yeah, there you go. The Walking Dead. Alright, and that does it for the news. Let's go ahead and move over to things that are releasing this week. Has to take another drink of my Diet Pips. Alright, first thing we're going to talk about here releasing this week is Studio 666. This is rated R. It's a horror comedy. It's 1 hour 46 minutes and will be in theaters. In Studio 666, Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Foo Fighters move into an Encino mansion steeped in grisly rock history. to record their much-anticipated 10th album. Once in the house, Dave Grohl finds himself grappling with supernatural forces that threaten both the completion of the album and the lives of the band. You bet your sweet ass I'm watching that movie. Love the Foo Fighters, dude. This sounds fun. Foo Fighters, horror movie. Into it. Let's see. We got Big Gold Brick, drama comedy, 2 hours, 12 minutes. This will be in theaters and streaming. Big Gold Brick recounts the story of fledgling writer Samuel Liston and his experience with Floyd DeRox, the enigmatic middle-aged father of two who enlists Samuel to write his biography. But the circumstances that lead up to this arrangement in the first place are quite astonishing, and efforts to write the biography are quickly stymied by ensuing chaos and this dark comedy genre-bending genre-bending film. I need to go to sleep. This movie has Lucy Hale in it, so you bet your sweet ass I'm seeing it. Let's see. What is next here? Alright, up next is Cyrano, a drama musical rated PG-13, 2 hours and 4 minutes. And this is in theaters. Award-winning director Joe Wright envelops moviegoers in a symphony of emotions with music, romance, and beauty in Cyrano. Reimagining of the timeless tale of a heartbroken love triangle. A man ahead of his time, Cyrano, played by Peter Dinklage, dazzles weather ferocious wordplay. Jesus. Dazzles weather with... it feels weird the way this is written. Maybe it's just me. With ferocious wordplay at a verbal joust or with brilliant swordplay in a duel. But convinced that his appearance renders him unworthy of the love of a devoted friend in the luminous Roxanne, Cyrano has yet to declare his feelings for her, and Roxanne has fallen in love at first sight with Christian. So, love triangle film. Check it out at your own risk. Let's see. Desperate Hour, PG-13, mystery, thriller, drama, 1 hour, 24 minutes, theaters and streaming. Unfolding in real time, The Desperate Hour is a riveting and pulse-pounding thriller from award-winning director Philip Noyce. Recently widowed mother Amy Carr, who's played by Academy Award nominee Naomi Watts, is doing her best to restore normalcy to the lives of her young daughter and teenage son in their small town. As she's on a jog in the woods, she finds her town thrown into chaos as a shooting takes place at her son's school. Miles away, on foot in the dense forest, Amy desperately races against time to save her son. Let's see. Gasoline Alley, rated R, action, mystery, thriller, 1 hour, 37 minutes. This will be in theaters and streaming, starring Bruce Willis, Luke Wilson, and Devon Sawa. That is Chucky series star Devon Sawa. Yeah. They star in this chilling story of a savage Hollywood murder set in present-day Los Angeles. Jimmy Jane, played by Sawa, is a reformed ex-con and the prime suspect who will stop at nothing to prove his innocence. Homicide detectives Freeman and Vargas, played by Wilson and Willis, are close on his trails as Jimmy takes on his own investigation, risking his life in the dark underbelly of L.A. Does actually sound kind of decent, man. So cool. I might actually check that out. It does sound kind of decent. Let's see. And Free Guy, rated PG-13, action adventure, 1 hour, 55 minutes. This is hitting Disney Plus. I know what you're thinking. Hey, this movie already came out, man. Hey, you already reviewed this movie. I know I did. It is now officially hitting Disney Plus this week. In Free Guy, a bank teller who discovers he is actually a background player in an open-world video game decides to become the hero of his own story, one he rewrites himself. Now, in a world where there are no limits, he is determined to be the guy who saves his world his way before it is too late. Free Guy. I'm actually interested and want to check that movie out again. I don't believe I gave it a bad review. I believe, if I remember correctly, I enjoyed the movie. I don't know. I don't listen to my reviews. I do the shows. I never listen to my episodes. So I might actually have to go back and listen to that to see how I felt about it, as opposed to how I feel with it watching it again. But I do want to check it out again, man. I remember it being a pretty decent time. So yeah, there you go. Free Guys hitting Disney Plus if you have that. And that does it for the news and what's releasing this week. So I'm going to queue up the trailer for our first movie to talk about here, and be back after that.
places out there you can't find on any map. They're not gone. They're just lost.
Hey, kid. A little young for a bartender, aren't you?
A little old for prom, aren't you?
Everything in here. Why the map?
This is the path that Ferdinand Magellan took to sail around the world.
You know your history.
It's the biggest treasure that's never been found.
5 billion easy. I think you're here because of your brother.
Wait, you know my brother Sam?
If we find that gold, we find him too.
Who the hell is this? I'm a friend of Sully's. Sully doesn't have any friends. I should know him one of them.
You are a collector.
Well, I dabble.
I don't dabble. My family has been looking for this potion for a very long time. So much blood.
I'm pretty sure he's just threatening to kill me.
Don't touch your ear like that. You look like an idiot.
You have no idea who you partnered with.
I've been dreaming about this stuff since I was a kid. My brother Sam left one final clue.
I shouldn't have come out to play with the big boys, Ian, because you're about to get a proper Scottish welcome.
What?
Oh, crap!
Alright, so Uncharted is PG-13 for violence, action, and language. It is an action-adventure film, 1 hour, 56 minutes. Street smart thief Nathan Drake, played by Tom Holland, is recruited by seasoned treasure hunter Victor Sullivan, also known as Sully, played by Mark Wahlberg, to recover a fortune lost by Ferdinand Magellan 500 years ago. What starts as a heist job for the duo becomes a globe-trotting white-knuckle race to reach the prize before the ruthless Makata, played by Antonio Banderas, who believes he and his family are the rightful heirs. If Nate and Sully can decipher the clues and solve one of the world's oldest mysteries, they stand to find $5 billion in treasure and perhaps even Nate's long-lost brother, but only if they can learn to work together. Rotten Tomatoes has a critic score of 40% with an audience score of 90%. Wow. And IMDb has a 6.7 out of 10. So, if you follow me on the social medias, which you can do over at Twitter, at review_it_Rob, and on Instagram, at review_it_Rob. I was very nervous going into this movie, simply put, because I love the Uncharted game series to death, man. This is easily one of my all-time favorite game series. I just absolutely love everything about it. I play it yearly. It is just so ingrained in who I am and what I look for in video games and have a great time with. So going into the movie, I knew exactly everything I needed to know about Uncharted, right? When they announced the casting for the film, I was fine with Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. But Mark Wahlberg as Sully, I didn't see it, and after seeing the movie, I still don't see it. And I'm not the biggest Mark Wahlberg fan. I will say, while watching the movie, I started why do I dislike Mark Wahlberg? I'm trying to figure out why I'm not a big Mark Wahlberg fan. I think it stems from the fact that, most of the time he's just the same freaking guy. He's the same character. And I think that's kind of where it comes from. But, it's not like Mark Wahlberg's a bad actor or a bad dude or anything. It's just, I don't know that he gives me all that much to go off of. And I don't see him as Sully. I'm sorry. I just don't see him as Sully. And then when, the first images came out, I'm like, okay, well, they got Nathan Drake look, pretty much close. But, yeah, it's Tom Holland. Right? And, they've released the first trailer, which I believe that's what I just played for you. And then I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know with this movie. Like, they're coming off just as freaking, Peter Parker and Mark Wahlberg. So it's that was my issue going to the movie, and that's why I was so nervous. I'm like, please don't make me hate this. I don't want to hate this. I love the game series. I would love to support the creation of this. Like, please don't mess this up. So I get into there with all of this, and I go into a movie with an open mind. Again, I'm very nervous about the film, but I'm going to keep an open mind, right? And I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be overly critical, but this just, it's not, I'm trying to figure out the words I want to put here, because I've wanted to take a couple of days to figure this out, because when it comes to this film, I'm trying not to overly judge it because of how much I love the game series, right? And they could have very easily just given us, the first game, or if they want to go with a younger Drake, the third game, right? Not the third game, the fourth game, my bad. But instead, with this movie, they tried to give their own story. They tried to give their own feels and everything. So they give Nathan Drake a different backstory and a different character feel. And it's like, come on, man. I know, artistic freedom and all that stuff. So I'm trying to be, this isn't like, to me, this isn't like, oh, we're taking a movie from the 60s or 70s and 80s and remaking it. This isn't like that to me. You're taking a video game and you're putting it into this new medium. Like, you don't have to change up things and all that stuff, but whatever, right? So they changed the Nathan Drake character with his backstory and all that. They changed the story between him and his brother. They make Nate more of a sidekick to Sully, which they kind of got the sidekick influences, but it seems like Nate's very unknowing of things, as opposed to in the video game where Nate is very egotistical at points and times, if you will, and he's still got some ego in this movie, sure, but it seems like he doesn't know fully what he's doing, while in the games, obviously, he's more adept to knowing what he's doing. And again, I get it, trying to transfer a video game into a movie is a tough situation because you're taking that personal experience out of it. When you're playing a video game, you're in control of everything, right? So that personal connection and attachment to the game is so much different than you sitting there watching the movie, seeing it played out by somebody else. Like I said, they added a new kind of story arc and story into it, as well as trying to adapt some of the other games into the movie, and that kind of threw me off as well. I'm like, why introduce things from the video games, the separate video games, into your new story, especially when you're saying, oh, we're trying to use the characters from the game, but make our own story so it's not as, predictable and all that stuff. Then why not just do a whole new, story? If you're already changing the characters' backgrounds and all this stuff, why bring in, I don't know, the cargo plane scene if you're doing something different from the games? I don't know, that kind of threw me off as well. But while, they changed those things and some backstories and all that stuff, and they added Chloe into it, which Chloe didn't become part of the series until the second game, but, yada yada, whatever. What I will say they did good is, the banter between Nate and Sully was good. Nate and Sully always have some kind of funny quips and banter with each other throughout the game series, and it was good that the movie did that. I will admit I got some good laughs and snickers while at some of the points, but there's also some points while I was watching the movie, I'm like, ugh, and then put my palm in or face in my palm and all that stuff, because I'm like, that's just a stupid decision. And ultimately, that's what it comes down to with me when I was watching this movie is, can I differentiate the two? Because I love the game so much. Can I remove my love for the game and enjoy the movie? And I did, I did my best to do that, right? Because I know it's not going to be exactly the same, which is fine. Again, artistic freedom, and of course, unpredictability, right? If the movie is just like the book or just like the game or whatever have you, then it's obviously very predictable how it's going to go, and that kind of changes the experience for you, if you will. So the movie itself, I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it. Did I overly hate it? No. It's not the worst movie I've seen. We'll be talking about it's not the worst movie I've seen this year or this weekend. by far. But it's just, I don't know. Like I said, I'm trying to take my bias out of it with, my love for the game. And, there's always this hope inside of me that I would be able to do this role. But, of course, I'm a fat stooge, so I'll probably never get to do this role. But, never say never, I guess. But, taking away all that bias, I just... like I said, I enjoyed the banter between the two, but it just seemed off at points. Again, I don't see Mark Wahlberg as Sully. I'm sorry. Tom Holland, again, most of the time is just, it's Peter Parker, man. And then he does some Spider-Man movies. I'm like, Drake doesn't do stuff like that. Well, Drake does jump around in the game and he climbs objects and all that stuff. He's not twirling and spinning around and all that stuff. And the script isn't the best. There's moments in the movie you're like, oh, God, come on. There are those moments where you watch the movies. I was like, come on, man. And then the CGI during some of the action scenes, especially during the cargo ship, which I know is tough to do, but also at the same time, Tom Cruise doesn't, his stuff doesn't really look fake, does it? So, you could do it if you wanted to. If you're really invested, you could do it. So, I didn't enjoy the movie. Let's just be flat out honest. I didn't enjoy this. While I did have my laughs and I thought a couple of moments were cool, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I don't think the script was the best. And some of the action sequences weren't the best. And it takes you away from... If you're a huge fan of the Uncharted series, you're not going to like this movie too much. They do some things with the source material. That is, rather good, but... Overall, when you're telling me, hey, we're creating this new storyline because we want to create our own thing, and then you throw in stuff from the other games to, quote-unquote, get us into liking your crappy original. That's a quote from a Mark Wahlberg movie I do enjoy, Rockstar. Then no, dude. Like, you can't do that. Like, I get it. Don't lie to your viewer. Don't be like, hey, we're doing something new, and then... Like, hey, we're going to throw in these moments from the game so we make you have that nostalgia beat. Like, oh, I remember seeing that in the game. That's cool. They're going to do that in the movie. A la the plane cargo scene. Which, could have been cool, but at the same time, the CG is just not good. Not good. Yeah. Like, again, I believe Tom Holland more in the Spider-Man suit doing this same stuff. Like, wasn't the first Spider-Man movie something to do with the cargo stuff? Come on, man. Like, you can... And it's a Sony movie at the same time, so... Freaking A, dude. And again, this is nothing against Tom Holland. I love Tom Holland. I have no issues with Tom Holland. I think he's a talented dude. With that said, it's just... I don't think... he fully hit what Nathan Drake is, in my opinion. And again, that's my opinion. Like I said, the audience score for this thing is 90%. Maybe that's a lot of Tom Holland fanboys. Maybe it's, a lot of people who just enjoyed the movie overall. Who knows? But, you see that critic score. And I'm leaning towards the critic score as well. I don't think the movie is that strong. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. It made a lot of money. It made good money. And they teased a sequel. There is a credit scene or two. And, there's very, very likely to be a sequel to happen for sure. So, nothing has been announced, but it's very, very, very possible that a sequel can end up happening here. So, there are things they get right. Don't get me wrong. They have the globe-trotting adventure part down. For the most part, they have the artifacts down. For the most part, they have the, solving of clues to get into the next area and finding this part and general sense of, the historical parts and the mystery and all that stuff. Some of that stuff is really good. Like, I can't sit here and fully, hate on it. There's just parts of it that just feel bad. That feel bad. And again, that's probably the part of my head that's like, the Uncharted games are so much better, which they are. And again, that kind of goes to the point where, I want to remove that bias, but at the same time, you have 4 Uncharted games that can give you the idea of how to make this movie, and there should be nothing that you can do wrong here. You should have your characters down. You should have general story down. You should not have a script that makes no sense. And of course, I'm not trying not to spoil anything. If I explain it more in detail of what the stuff in the script messed up, I'd be spoiling the movie. So I can't do that. It's just, to me, I never tell anybody to not see the movie. And if you haven't played the Uncharted games, guess what? You might enjoy this movie, which probably leads to that 90% score. Like, at the same time, the script is not all that good. It is really, honestly, not all that good. Like, if you see the movie, which again, I never tell anybody not to see the movie. I just give my opinion. You base your idea of seeing it on your own. I never tell anybody not to see a movie. You can see it, and you'll watch it like, oh, well, he was acting this way towards this person, and now all of a sudden they're fine, and then he was acting this way towards them again, and all of a sudden they're fine. It's like, the script is not there. The script is not the best. So, yeah. Overall, I don't think Uncharted's all that great. Was it a completely, utterly miserable experience in theater? No. I got a couple Snickers, thought some of the things were cool. So it's not overly horrible movie. I will go that far. But it is not what I would have hoped for in the transition of the Uncharted game series into film. With that said, it did make a good box office return. There's a very good chance there's a sequel. And my hope is that when they do the sequel, that they pay more attention to the games. Get rid of the damn cat thing. I get it, it's for laughs, but freaking Sully doesn't have a cat. Come on. So in the end, Uncharted for me was not what I was hoping it would be, and unfortunately lived up to my worries. So we'll see what happens with the future of this and how the sequel ends up going. If they end up doing a sequel, which they more likely will end up doing. Speaking of sequels, the other film I watched this weekend was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Rated R for gore, strong, bloody horror, violence, and language. It is a mystery. No, it's not. It is a horror movie. 1 hour, 23. There's no fucking mystery here. Except of how the fuck these movies keep being made. Rotten Tomatoes critic score 31%. Audience score 34%. IMDb 5 out of 10, which I think is just fucking IMDb not giving a shit and always giving a 5 to movies. Melody, her teenage sister Lila, and their friends Dante and Ruth head to the remote town of Harlow, Texas to start an idealistic new business venture. But their dream soon turns into a walking nightmare when they accidentally disrupt the home of Leatherface, the deranged serial killer whose blood-soaked legacy continues to haunt the area's residents, including Sally, the sole survivor of the 1973 massacre, who's hell-bent on seeking revenge. Blah, 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 blah. If this movie did anything for me, it reassured my fact that I hate the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise with a passion. But there's 9 of those movies, right? Hate, 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 hate. Loathe entirely. Like, how do these movies keep getting made, man? Like, when I was hanging out with my brother and we decided to watch this movie, I was like, I had the bright fucking idea of like, hey, let's watch the original before. Since this movie is a sequel to the original, because they went fucking Halloween style, let's watch the original. We watched the original, and after that, he's like, hey, let's watch the Jessica Biel one. I'm like, alright, whatever. And then we thought about watching the Jordana Brewster one. And then we saw it had like a 14%. We're like, no, we ain't doing that. Y'all, I don't get it. I don't understand how these movies keep getting made. And, to each their own. You enjoy it. I've got some friends who enjoy the movie. Fucking fine. Good for you. I've seen the reviews. Most of the reviews lean towards my side where they say that this is the fucking miserable movie. Miserable experience watching this movie. And I agree. What a shit-tastic movie. The script, horrible. Majority of the acting, stupid. Decisions made in the movie, morons. What? How? And this Melody character? Almost the most annoying character in the franchise history. Like, right there with, what the fuck is his name? Franklin. From the first movie? God, that kid's annoying. Like, I can't begin to even try to defend this movie, and I won't. I'm not gonna do it. Again, like I said, I got friends who enjoy it. Cool. Glad you enjoy it. That's great. Love what you love. Lord knows I love some movies that people hate. That's fine. Will I understand why you love this movie? No. You can tell me why you love it. Will I believe it? No. Not gonna help me, man. Because I watched the movie with my eyes. And fucking... like, how? There are so many times in this movie where it's like, hey, pick up the chainsaw. You'll be fine. Like, these are the stupidest freaking characters I've ever seen in my life. And it's freaking consistent throughout the franchise. Like, these are the stupidest individuals in the world. And I know what you're saying, Rob. It's a horror movie. You know. Sometimes, you know, the people are really stupid in horror movies. I know. Trust me, I know. But it just seems to be... every single Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie is the same. It's stupid idiots. Is a freaking Leatherface character. And more stupid idiots. Like, how? How did these movies keep getting made? I get it. The first movie came out in fucking what? 74. 73, 74, 75, whatever. Pretty sure it's 74. And, you know, it's iconic because of the time period and the character. You know, he cuts off people's faces, wears it as his face. That time period, I get it. Like, I don't understand, man. I don't understand. And, you know, if there's anything redeemable about this movie, the 2022 movie, the kills are pretty brutal. Like, and it's funny when you say the same thing, because that's the main thing you remember from Halloween Kills, right? You're like, you know, movie is what it is, but the kills are fucking awesome, right? But at least Halloween Kills has a somewhat decent script. You know, this movie script fucking blows. It blows. So hard. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. And there's people who defend it. Cool. It's not going to change my opinion. It's not. Like, these movies need to stop being made. Like, you know, instead of freaking Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street being freaking sitting there, freaking being covered in dust and growing mold and all that stuff, can we put the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise out of my damn misery? Can we do that, please? Like, how many times this freaking series got to be rebooted? How many times they got to put another one of these damn movies out? Like, enough's enough. Like, it's not working. Like, none of it's working. And I would love to hear, you know, I want people to tell me what they like about the movie. Most of the things I've seen, because I've looked at other people's reviews, because I'm trying to figure this out. And half the time scrolling through social media, the majority of the time it's people saying, oh, the movie's dreadful, the movie's miserable, it's horrible, it sucks. Some people are like, well, if you, this movie's better than Halloween Kills. Fucking no, it's not, dude. And I'm not a huge supporter of Halloween Kills. I am not. Trust me, I'm not a huge supporter of that movie. But god dang, this movie is not better than that. Like, no. This is the worst movie I've seen this year. And I'm pretty safe in saying I will end up watching a lot of Netflix originals as I, you know, kick up, flicks it back going. Which fucking this was a Netflix movie. I can't do it, man. I can't do it with this franchise. And I was honestly, I was thinking, because I just finished the Saw franchise. I'm like, hey, you know what? Texas Chainsaw Massacre, maybe I'll do that franchise next. I don't know if I can subject myself to that kind of misery, man. Like, it's so painful. It is so... I haven't seen a single Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that I like. Just out of freaking sheer ridiculousness. I think the first one's the best one. Other than that, the other movies are just trash. They're trash. I watched the Jessica... what's her name? Biel? I watched that one. Horrible. The Jordana Brewster one? Horrible. Fucking Leatherface? Horrible. What's the other one? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D? Horrible. Like, what? How? How does this keep happening? How, dude? Like, and I guess... people trash the Chucky franchise. And love this franchise. Like, what the fuck? Like, how does this happen? And I know I'm the Chucky guy. I love Chucky to death. Even if I didn't. No. The Chucky series is so much better than this. Like, I don't know if there's a horror franchise that's worse than this. Like, it sucks. It sucks. It sucks so bad. I feel like I'm having a rant here at the end of the show, but it's like, I don't, again, enjoy what you enjoy and love what you enjoy. Cool, man. That's fine. I don't get it, dude. I mean, like I said, and you bring back the Survivor for what? Oh, Halloween did it. Let's bring back the Survivor. People love that Halloween, but they don't realize that the Halloween films, not all of them, some of them, but for the most part, Michael Myers fucking iconic, Laurie Strode fucking iconic, decent enough script, fine. Like, oh, Halloween 2018, that was a huge success, man, let's do it with our movie. Your franchise sucks ass, dude. Like, it sucks. I hate to break it to you. It sucks. Now, granted, I haven't seen the Matthew McConaughey movie. You know, what was that, 3? Or The New Generation, The New Beginning, whatever the fuck. With the track record of the franchise, I assume that one is batshit stupid as well. Like, somebody explain this to me. Maybe I'll put that on social media. Like, somebody explain to me why people love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. I'm not going to change my opinion. I've seen the movies, and they're all dog trash. You know? So, maybe it's a moot point. But nonetheless, I did watch that movie this weekend. And it was the worst movie I've seen. I saw it this weekend. Like, I get, you can't change my mind. You cannot. Yeah, guess what? The kills were cool. I guarantee you, if those kills were not in this movie, you would see how much of a piece of shit this movie was, too. Oh, it's Leatherface. He's out. He's got his chainsaw. Movie sucks. Movie sucks. Oh, my God. Got anything else to add there? Diet Pepsi can. You're more interesting than that movie. You know that? Diet Pepsi can. Check this out. Yep, that was better than anything I saw in that movie right there. Oh, man. I hope you've enjoyed me ranting. I don't rant that much about movies, but when it comes to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, I will be ranting. So yeah, what's my ranking of the franchise? Pretty much release order. I guess. I don't know. I mean, what? Part 2 has Bill Moseley in it, right? Fucking Bill Moseley's classic. Maybe that's the best one. Again, I haven't seen the Matthew McConaughey or Renee Zell's. I haven't seen that one. I'm sure that one's batshit crazy too, though. I've seen the preview of it. Yeah, Yep. So, Uncharted was not the worst movie I saw this weekend. That very much goes to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Again, if you enjoy it, cool, man. I'm not here to crap on you for enjoying what you enjoy. You enjoy your shitty movies if you want. Because I enjoy what some people would call shitty movies myself. That's the way the cookie crumbles. We move forward, and we move forward. I'm recording way too long. I've talked way too long about that. I felt like I called Texas Chainsaw Massacre a piece of shit not enough times. But I digress. Yep. This is the sounds of a man losing his mind. All because of a damn Leatherface movie. Which also, by the way, continuity-wise, the first movie was Texas Chain Space Saw Space Massacre. Every other movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. One word. What the fuck? You are the same franchise. Why are you spacing it out in the beginning and not continuing that out? Even if it's right or wrong, it doesn't matter. You're the franchise. Why are you messing that up? I know what you're saying. Halloween 3 doesn't have Michael Myers in it. They messed that up. Suck it. That's what I say. Suck it. I will give the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise this. They are consistent in being a shitty script. There you go. I said it. Freaking watched so many roasts this weekend. I'm roasting the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. And you know what? It deserves it. Alright, that does it. I'm out of here. I'm sick of talking about this. I'm sure you're sick of hearing me talking about it. Hell, you probably turned the show off at this point. I don't blame me. But if you are still here, thank you for dealing with me and my nonsense. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you enjoy Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you did not enjoy this episode there at the end, because I just smacked you all in the faces. I'm sorry. It happens, my babies. It happens. But that does it for this episode. As always and forever, I appreciate you taking the time listening to me babble on about the nonsense. Again, be sure to check out the Mr. Wonderful Show, releasing every Wednesday. And the Zach Speakeasy, releasing every Thursday. And again, Zach Speakeasy has a special episode will help explain that opening I had there for this show. So, appreciate you all. Thank you for joining in. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day, week, whenever you're listening to this show, my babies. And remember, as always, that happiness can be found even in the darkest of times, especially when people hate on your movies, as long as one remembers to turn on the light. Talk to you all next episode. Thank you for joining me this week. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to get updates on all new episodes. As well, follow me on Twitter at review_it_Rob. Stay tuned for more adventures.